The last tango. Every ICU has one. Even in a small rural hospital with only 25 beds, flickering lights, and budget coffee, there is always a conference room. A place where life and death are not theoretical. Where doctors speak in hushed tones. Where families cry quietly behind paper cups of burnt decaf. Where decisions are made that can't be undone. Tonight, the conference room wasn't empty. A well-dressed man sat alone at the table. Charcoal gray suit, polished shoes. He wasn't crying, or pacing, or praying. He was bored. He tapped his manicured fingers against the table, inspected his nails, glanced at his watch. Platinum, limited edition, waiting. The door to the ICU opened. An elderly woman entered. Her perfume arrived before she did. Bold, powdery, floral. Her outfit looked straight out of a 1980s TV drama. Shoulder pads, metallic gold accents, wide belt cinched at the waist. Thick bangles, hoop earrings, rings on nearly every finger. The man stood. Finally. "You took your time." "I was finishing rounds," she said. "You still wear all that jewelry? In this place? Aren't you afraid someone will try to take it?" The woman smiled slyly. "People want to live long lives. I am life. I'm not afraid." He stepped closer. "And I am death, and I prefer to stay young." "You prefer to pretend," she quipped. "You're not that pretty." He grinned. "Oh, darling. I give people relief from years of pain. They say goodbye to tubes and wires. Some even smile when I touch them." She rolled her eyes, but offered him her hand. "Well then, shall we? I thought you'd never ask." The tango began. Silent, but unmistakable. In the hallway, the operator's voice cracked over the intercom. "Code Blue, room 204, Code Blue, room 204. They danced, their steps mirrored. Slow, sinuous. He dipped her. She spun. Their bodies moved with an intimacy that came only from centuries of knowing one another. As the code team ran to the room, life and death circled each other in perfect rhythm. A nurse pushed epinephrine. A doctor called for compressions. A monitor screamed. But inside the conference room, the man and woman danced closer, tighter. The dance grew frenzied, arms locked, breathless, almost desperate. She whispered, "Not tonight. He still wants to live." He leaned in. "But he's so tired." "So am I." He twirled her once more, then stopped. He glanced at his watch. "Not yet," she said firmly. He sighed. "Fine." He kissed her cheek. Their dance ended. Outside, in room 204, the monitor blinked. A heartbeat returned. It was nearly 4 a.m. The ICU was still except for the rhythmic sigh of ventilators and the occasional beep of telemetry monitors. Rita was halfway through her notes when the hallway light flickered. Just once. It wasn't enough to trigger panic, just enough to stir memory. She turned toward the conference room, and the door was cracked open. Again. Inside, the man in the gray suit stood. Death. Sharp as ever, polished, calm. But this time, she was already there. Life. Pouring herself a cup of stale coffee from the carafe. "Back so soon?" she asked, not turning. "You didn't return my call." "We're not dating, darling." He smiled faintly. Still bored, but more careful this time. "Room 207. The child?" He nodded. "Drowned in a pool. No brain activity. Heart still beating, but only because of machines. Parents are waiting, praying, bargaining." She looked at him. "You came here thinking you'd win?" "I came here because it's time." She placed her coffee down gently, then walked to the window. "No, not this one. It's not your choice. It never was." They didn't dance this time. Not at first. They stood in silence for a long moment. Then Death exhaled and stepped forward. "I'm tired of always asking." "Then stop." He held out his hand. She didn't take it. "You want to pull the plug?" she asked. "It's mercy. It's surrender. It's truth. It's fear." A heartbeat passed. The code light over room 207 began to blink. Not red, amber, fading, holding. Life sighed. I'll make a deal. Now we're talking. You take someone else. No. Someone who's ready. No. Someone who wants to go. He stared at her, and she stared back. Outside the room, a DNR was quietly signed in room 202. A woman in her 90s, nonverbal, declining for months. Her daughter, crying but relieved, let go. In room 207, the child coughed, eyes fluttered. A monitor beeped, then steadied. In the conference room, Death offered his hand again. This time she took it, but they didn't tango. They just stood, forehead to forehead, holding the weight between them. We'll be back here again, he said. I know, she replied. It never gets easier. It's not supposed to. It had been months since the child in room 207 opened his eyes. The I.C.U. had settled back into its usual rhythm. Death, yes, but quiet deaths. Expected ones. Patients with clean exits, families who knew how to grieve. But tonight was different. The conference room was locked, and yet someone was inside. Rita noticed the flickering return. Only this time the lights didn't blink in warning. They dimmed, slowly, like breath leaving the body. At the end of the corridor, the conference room door stood wide open. Inside, darkness, except for the shimmer of a single overhead lamp. She didn't go in. She couldn't. Something told her this wasn't for the living. Inside, Death waited. No suit tonight, just black slacks, bare feet, shirt sleeves rolled up. He stared out the window into the fog that pressed against the glass like fingers looking for a crack. He was waiting, but no one came. No heels, no bangles, no perfume. Life had not shown up. He moved to the center of the room. The old floor creaked beneath him, and he bowed to no one, raised his hand to no partner. But still, he danced. Not the sharp, charming tango he reserved for her. This was slow, fractured, grieving. His footwork lagged. His rhythm stumbled. He twirled an empty space. He dipped air. He kissed the place where her hand used to rest. Outside, Rita swore she heard music. A waltz this time, one no one else could hear. She saw the shadows again, but only one silhouette moving, the other absent. In room 209, a man in his 40s coded. Rita ran with the crash cart, compressions, meds, intubation. But something was missing, like the story had already ended before it began. His heart never restarted. And yet, Death didn't claim him. Not yet, because Death was still dancing, alone. Back in the conference room, Death sat at the edge of the table, drenched in stillness. He looked down at his empty hand. I was never meant to do this alone. I was never the choice. Just the ending. His voice echoed into nothing. Then the door closed behind him. Some say life walked away. Others say she faded. But the I.C.U. staff all noticed the same thing that night. No codes for 3 days, no deaths, no decisions. Only silence.